All right. This is your next assignment, Stencil It. We're going to go talk about what you need to get done for this assignment and kind of the new tools that are involved with it as well. So in the stencil assignment, when you click into it and you're looking at the design brief, you can see that you are going to be required to draw 4 different types of stencil boards, and then that's like your bare minimum there, and then you have these additional pieces that go with it. So can you do more than 4 boards with multiple stencils on it? Do you have a theme to your stencil? We can talk about what that looks like with the examples. Fillets, so this rounds the edges of your stencil, so you have no sharp edges. I'll show you how to do that. You have text, specifically stencil text, and then can you make your Google Doc look nice? Okay. One of the things that I'm adding in here is the first time I'm going to require a dimension. So you can see that the thickness of the board is 0.25. That's going to be your extrusion for the board itself. Okay. Some samples of what stencils look like, in case you're like, what is he talking about? You can do letters or shapes. You guys know how to trace images now, so you can do actual images traced and put into a stencil form. So those are the different types of options that you have for the 4 boards for your bare minimum there that you have to do. Alright, so what does this look like in Fusion 360? So in Fusion 360, you're going to start off by sketching and creating the board. Just for display purposes, I'm going to put it on the front plane. It might make sense to do like a stencil on the top plane, but just to like show it easier and rotate, I'm going to just click the front. Okay. Now the stencil itself, it's up to you how big the stencil board is. Generally, you could see stencils like the size of a piece of paper, so that's like 8.5 by 11. So I can actually do that. So 11, 8.5, and so that's like my board right there. So all I did was typed in the number before I clicked. I typed 11, and then I did 8.5. If I already clicked and those dimensions weren't there, I could just use the sketch dimension. I can click on like a line, move my mouse, click again, and then I can place that. Now I can't do that now because I already did it, but basically it's going to, after you do that, it's going to let you type in the value for each of those dimensions. Okay, so when I'm done, I'm going to finish that. Now my directions said my board has to be 0.25 for thickness, so that's going to be my extrusion. So I'm going to extrude. In here I can type 0.25, and then that's the thickness of the board. I'll just hit enter. Okay, from here, if you want to fillet the edges, so that's rounding these like corner edges here that are sharp. This is our fillet tool right over here. So if I click on that, I can click on these edges. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to do them all at once. So I'm just going to kind of move around my screen here and click on my edges. Okay. Once I do that, I can pick the how much I want it. So like let's do like 0.25. You can see that I have a nice rounded edge there for my board. Okay, once I'm done, I hit OK. I have my filleted edges. I have my 0.25 thickness for my board, and now I'm just ready for the stencil itself. Okay, so for here, I'm going to create a sketch for my stencils. You're going to create a theme, so I'm not going to go trace stuff right now. You can do that for some of your boards. Let's say my theme is shapes. So maybe I have like a circle, maybe I have a rectangle, maybe I have a polygon. Okay, so that's like my theme here. When that looks good and I like all my shapes, I can do my extrusions all at once, so I can finish my sketch, and then all I'm doing is cutting away with an extrusion. So once I click on all of those, I can just go back, make sure it's cutting, and then I can hit OK. So that's like my stencils right there. Now some of your other options that you have are to create stencil text. You can add color. We've talked about color. So let's talk about the text really quick. Text is found within sketching. So I'm going to go click create a sketch. I'm going to click on the front of my board to sketch on my board. And then let's just say I'm going to create text. So here's going to be where my text is. Alright, and I can type in what I wanted to say, maybe shapes. Okay. Your size is over here, so if I need to make it bigger, right, I can see how that changes it. So there's 4, here's 5, here's 6, okay? So maybe I like the size of that. Now the font, what I want to do here is I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to change this to Stencil text. So here's Stencil, right here. Now the reason that matters is because now when I'm cutting through, it's going to leave the shape, right? It's not going to cut just this silhouette out. So that's kind of what's nice about the Stencil text. Now it's kind of too big, so I'm going to rescale this. So let's do 5. That looks a lot better. I'm going to hit OK, and now I have my text there. When I finish my sketch, notice it's still not really doing anything because it's just a sketch. So what I need to do is make sure I'm extruding it. So if I extrude and I click on the text itself, I can extrude out, and that's going to just make an extrusion, or I can actually just cut away, and then I can actually use those letters as the text within the stencil. Okay, so that's how you do the stencil text and the stencil board itself. You can repeat this video and see all the different steps, and that should help you get started today on your stencil assignment.